So today I'm with Haley. Haley, how old are you?
30.
Haley, I approached you and asked you if you're out here in the streets. Are you out here homeless in Phoenix?
Been homeless 4 times since 2018. Out in Phoenix the first time. Second time was also in Phoenix, and the last 2 times have been in Mesa.
And are you originally from the Valley?
From the Valley, born in Phoenix, raised in Gilbert, Chandler. So I like Gilbert and Chandler a lot more. In Gilbert and Phoenix and Mesa, there's a lot of crime out here, and I was trafficked in 2018, and so now I'm gang stalked. So finding shelter was like really important. I found it. My dog can come, my ESA dog. So I'm finally making the steps towards my own foundation.
What happened? What led you to coming out to Phoenix and being stalked and all that stuff? What happened?
I suffer with mental illness, but I'm also a recovering addict, which is kind of a big struggle. Out in Phoenix, it's just hot, so staying with strangers on their couches is kind of the only way I could get around. And most of those couches are not good, not good people. So
you're trusting people to help you out with the place to stay, and the one thing led to another, and they, abuse and whatnot?
People do desperate things for some shelter and some food, and I've been there.
What advice would you give to young people, young girls that might be vulnerable out there in the streets? They think it's cool and glamorous out here, but they just soon discover that there's predators and people that are going to take advantage of their situation. What would you tell them?
100%. I don't know. If they're bipolar like me, they might make some manic decisions, but it's just not safe out here. It's dog eat dog, 100%. And when you're a good person and you're not the type of person to hurt others, it tends to get backfired onto you. All the pain, all the hurt is you, and you're naive to it because you don't see the crime coming your way. You assume people are good. People aren't. People aren't. I was kidnapped naked for 3 weeks because someone sold my clothes. I was in the shower. So if you're ever borrowing a shower, maybe carry an outfit in the bathroom with you. Keep you dressed. There's a lot of stupid skills. Sky Harbor, you're not technically supposed to sleep there, but if you pretend you had a flight, there's a lot of security and police there. It's kind of a safe place to go if they don't kick you out. So, I don't know.
And what about family back home, back in the East Valley, Gilbert, Chandler? Like, do they try to help you, lend you support?
No, my family, I don't know, they don't like me, but we're all addicts, and they're cool. My brothers being addicts, my mom's an addict, they all can stand sheltered, and they can abuse each other, but I get kicked out, and my mom knew all the times that I was attempted murdered and trafficked. Like, she got the calls from the hospital and didn't welcome me home. So, just family's not good for me, so building my own foundation was important this time. I wasn't going to be homeless a 5th time. I don't want to do that again.
What's the addiction you've been battling? A lot of meth, G, or blues?
No blues, luckily, thank God. IV meth since day one. The guy who introduced me had selfish motives and gave me a big shot and got me addicted, and that was the end for me.
IV, intravenous needles?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What's the biggest difference between smoking it and injecting?
If you start with IV, smoking it will do nothing. I was asleep sick in bed when we switched over to smoking. So it's just not good. Don't start with the needle. Hopefully never go to the needle. But if it's going to lead you to homelessness, just try to get clean, stay in recovery, hold on to that, because if you're a good person, you do not belong out here at all. It's not good out here.
So you're 30 years old now, and how old were you when you started substances?
Substances when I was 14. I actually got suspended from school for being 3 times the legal limit drinking at school. Sophomore year, I got caught selling drugs on school campus, but I was just sharing with friends. I wasn't selling them. And ever since then, it's just been trying to make the day go by faster and funner.
And what keeps you away from blues? Lots of people are on blues. What keeps you from not using or trying them?
I don't know. I did try heroin once. I think because I smoked it, I didn't get addicted. But I watched them suffer too much. I've been to hospitals many times, and those are the people that suffer the worst. And all the people that hurt me the most out here are addicted to the blues because, unfortunately, they need their drug. And I'm a drug addict. I can't judge another drug addict for what they choose. Your flavor is different than mine, but I feel for them because they need it. So they'll do desperate things to feel better. And I'm lucky that my drug of choice is just a want. And I kind of like that. Like, I can quit anytime, and it's not a matter of being sick for a week, missing work. It's just a matter of mind over matter for me.
And what does your future look like? What are you trying to do for your life soon?
I was in school to be a dental hygienist. I'm 4 science classes away from being a dental hygienist, but I make as much waitressing. So I'm kind of thinking about just staying in the waitressing life. I don't know. I didn't plan to go very much further. I have borderline personality disorder.
Do you think your mental health issues have affected you towards this type of lifestyle, or just the people you've associated with, or what do you think?
I think, well, my mental health issues are just hated by my family, but I think that they did get me into naive situations. I think that I assume people are good too much because of my mental health. And out here, start with zero trust. When you meet someone, start with zero trust. You have to earn their trust. People will really invest $10 at Walgreens for you, make them look like they're helping you, and then later they're going to rob you for all your belongings. So it's like a $10 investment to get $1,000 worth of stuff. It's horrible. And then people drugging me 4 times now, so I don't accept consumables from anyone out here anymore. Cigarettes, drinks even. I could be parched thirsty. I'm not taking that drink from you. I'm sorry. It's ended me up in bad places every damn time.
So guys that come up to you, try to be a nice guy, give you stuff, fruit, food, or something to drink because you're hungry and thirsty, and those are spiked with something to knock you out, and then you end up disappeared, like just taken somewhere?
Yeah, and usually they drug you when you're about to hit a place where they know once you're on drugs, you can't escape. So the first time they drugged me, I was at the top of a gravel mountain. I could not walk down that mountain drugs. Second time, I was in a ditch. And both those times, I screamed for help for like 5 hours until no noise came out anymore. So I'm like screaming for help, but nothing's coming out. And then once the drugs wore off and a good person may have called 911 and labeled me as a victim, the bad guys call 911. They're a hero. And then the hospital silenced the witness because they sedate you because you did this to yourself. They judge you. You did this to yourself. We're going to sedate you. But really, I'm just a victim of a horrible crime. And those heroes that called you worried about me, they had me there for 5 hours. They didn't call you until I got close to another person to call you. And they may have said I was a victim. But those people, I'm so glad that they called you after 5 long hours. That was so nice of them.
Haley, you bring up a point that I've heard a lot, that when people that are battling addiction or out here in the streets, they have to go to the hospital, they're treated a little bit differently than folks like quote unquote normal people, right? Because they get judged a lot, you know, and that's unfortunate, right? Because you're not given the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes you are a lot of times you're a victim of a crime, but you're judged on how you look or your lifestyle, and you're not taken seriously sometimes, or maybe you invited that harm because of your life choices, right?
Yeah, especially if you have bipolar, they're going to assume it's psychosis. So nothing that you say is factual to them. You're not a reliable witness, because that you could be just in psychosis. You could be making this up. You could have seen that, and it didn't really happen. So one of my abusers was a meth dealer, and he got me to the point where I looked like I was going crazy. But I knew what happened, and I was stating facts. But the hospital, when you have bipolar, they're going to assume this might just be her illusion. And it's not. But it's bad out here. It's really bad out here, and the cops aren't necessarily on my side because, unfortunately, I assaulted 3 cops in 2018. So they don't really like me very much, and so they're not here to help me. So that's okay. I have a huge infected splinter in the bottom of my foot because one of the times I was taken to the hospital, they didn't treat my wounds because I did this to myself. Because I was not just a victim of a horrible crime.
Haley, I've been talking to you for about 10 minutes, and in the time I've been talking to you, there's been like 4 cars with men in the cars by themselves, just kind of driving really slow, looking at you. Right, observing you and thinking, right, and how to approach you or what you're doing and stuff like that. Do you get that a lot?
I get that a lot. Yesterday I was at my dad's homeless shelter, and they told me that this car turned in every street behind me and circled the block 3 times. I get it a lot, but I just flick them off. I don't accept rides from anyone anymore. My trauma lines me up to have certain rules, survival of the streets, and no getting in cars with strangers, no closed doors. I can't go behind closed doors with you. Even if you're a good person, the bad people used trust to get me into privacy. So one of them was a military guy fighting for our freedom, and then at home trafficking me, not giving me freedom. Second guy was raised by a single mom and only had daughters. He would never hurt a woman. Well, later he almost killed me, so maybe it's just his daughters and his mom. So they tell you this really good person story. So if you seem like a good person to me, I'm going to second guess it. I'm going to think, I trust this person, maybe I shouldn't, because they wore good guy masks. So I don't know if that's a mask or if you're genuinely a good person anymore.
Haley, you're gonna have to assume that everybody has bad intentions out here.
Out here, yeah.
So,
Out here, yeah.
I'm gonna say thank you very much for talking to me, Haley. I really appreciate you opening up and sharing a little bit about your story. I really hope that things get better and improve for you, and you seek help and counseling and just a better future, because that's what you deserve, okay?
Thank you.
I'm gonna hand you my card with my number on it, and you could call me if you ever need a ride to treatment or somebody to talk to, okay?
I appreciate it.
Here's a little bag from one of my subscribers. Her name is Sara. There's like a little note right there. Can you read that?
Hope this helps a little. Be safe. God bless. Sarah Wolfe. Thank you so much.
Yeah, are those items that you could use?
Well, luckily, I got approved into a homeless shelter right now. So I got some self-care items, but this would be really helpful on the streets. Some
Excellent.
food, really good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad that you got approved for a shelter to be off the streets.
Yes.
Please stay safe and God bless you, okay?
I will. God bless you. Thank you so much.